and also how the software takes the data and puts it into maps and analyzes it. So I'd like to conclude with one specific example of using GIS. And that example is raster calculation. So, as I said before, rasters are continuous data files made up of little fields. And each one of those fields has a digital number that represents it. And those numbers could represent maybe an elevation, if you have an elevation file, or maybe it's just, the dark or light contrast if you have an aerial photograph. So what you can do with the GIS software is you can take different rasters and calculate and put them together with mathematical operators such as adding and subtracting to make a new raster. And one specific example that I have is the Universal Soil Loss Equation, or USLE. And according to the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, the USLE is predicting the long-term average rate of soil erosion on a field slope based on rainfall pattern, soil type, topography, crop system, and management practices. So what I did is I took some specific rasters that represented some of these factors, such as crop and vegetation. The light is where you're going to have the least amount of vegetation, and the black is where you'll have the most. The slope gradient, which is simply the steepness of a hillside, and where you have the dark, that's where it's going to be steepest, and the light is where you're going to be the flattest. And then the soil erodibility factor, which obviously is how erodible your soil is, and the dark blue is where you're going to have the most erodible soil, and the light is where you'll have the least. I put them into a raster calculator, which performed mathematical functions on them, and then it came out with a new raster that showed where you're going to have the most soil loss, or the predicted amount of soil loss. And you can see the red is where you're going to have the most, and the white is where you have the least. And you can see the crop and vegetation has a large effect on that. So that is one specific example that GIS can be used for, and there are many others. So without question, GIS is an amazing and effective way to analyze and create maps and graphics for different uses. So today we explored a little bit about what GIS is, and then we talked a little bit about how you take the data and how it is used to create maps and analysis. And then we concluded with a specific example. So I hope that you found it interesting and that it piqued your interest about this amazing program. Power a single refrigerator. Finally, I would like to share with you